Good afternoon, children. Children, we are again with the chapter Money and Credit. So, children, this is the next part of the lesson. We have discussed some portion in the last class and we'll continue today. So, before starting the lesson, as usual, I'll tell you to open your books because whatever I'm teaching you, everything is given in your NCERT book. No other book is preferable according to me. You have to just refer only NCERT book. So please take out the books. Whatever points I am telling you, each and everything is mentioned in your book. So when I teach you, after that you go through the books. At that time also you can refer your book. And while teaching you also I tell you the important points that you have to note down or make it underline. So children, first we will revise what we did in previous class. So in previous class we discussed about barter system. I told you in barter system, what is barter system? Exchange of goods with goods. And in that I told you that the essential condition was double coincidence of bonds. Then children we discussed about the next thing was modern forms of money. In modern forms of money we discussed about different currency, coins, demand deposits, check, and I had given you various examples like debit card, credit card, which is not given in a book, that also you can write. So we discussed about the modern forms of money, and in that we discussed about what is check also. Then I think we discussed about the loan activities of the bank. Once again I will just repeat the loan activities of the bank. Now children, I'll just give you my example. When I was a kid. When we were small, we were in school, like you are having Google, or your age of computer, you're in digital age, you have internet facilities, you have knowledge of everything. But when we were small, we did not know all extra things. So when we were going to school, we were seeing the banks, that such a building is there, and how the money of the people is kept over there. We just compared the bank with the box that you have, that you tell in Hindi gullak, for keeping the money. But children, the money that is deposited in the bank, it never remains with bank. Bank does business with your own deposits. Now to explain this, that how banks does business with your money, I'll give you certain examples and points. Take for example, your father has deposited 1 lakh rupees in the bank. Suppose his salary is 1 lakh. And I don't think that in one day anyone can spend 1 lakh daily. And from that 1 lakh, he withdraws 20,000 for his daily needs for some days. But rest 80,000 is there with the bank. Now, what will bank do with that 80,000 rupees? First, whatever 80,000 rupees is there with the bank will keep that money, and when your father will withdraw that money, bank will give along with 80,000 5 or 10% of interest. And if you withdraw the money after some time, your father will get the money, and in addition he will get the interest also. But always it does not happen, money remains with bank also. Now what bank will do? Your father is lender. He has just deposited the money in the bank. But many people in our country, they need money for some activities, for doing business, for purchasing land, or for purchasing car, or for many other necessities. For farmers need money for purchasing seeds and fertilizers. Now what will happen? Suppose your father has deposited his money, 80,000 is there with the bank. Just I'm giving example. What bank will do? From that 80,000, he will lend money to any person who demands in form of loan. Suppose a farmer wants loan of 40,000. So from that 80,000, bank gives 40,000 to that farmer. But Bank does not give that 40,000 free. Bank charges rate of interest. And that rate of interest is, suppose your father is getting 10% rate of interest. Bank will charge 15 or 20% rate of interest to the person to whom he lends to whom they lend the money. Now just understand, children. Bank gives interest 10% to your father and bank takes interest 20%. Now the difference between 10% and 20% is 10%. And that 10% is the business or profit of the bank. So bank never lends money from their own money. Whatever money is deposited by the person, that same money is lended by the bank. And children, you know very well that banks are being instructed that they should keep at least 15% of money from the total deposit in a single day in a bank. And if you, suppose if bank is having certain amount of money, they don't have to lend all the money. They have to keep certain amount deposited in reserve in the bank. Now what would be the reason? Why bank keeps certain amount in reserve? Because they have to keep certain amount in reserve and that percentage is 15%. The reason is for bank withdrawals. Many people, they withdraw money from ATMs, they withdraw money by going in the banks. For that purpose, bank keeps only 15% with them in form of reserve and rest money with the bank. It is rotating in the market in the form of loans, and these loans are not given free of cost. For that, bank charges a rate of interest. So this is how bank acts as a mediator between the borrower and the lender, between the people those who are necessity and between the people those who are in surplus. But now today, children, the concept has changed. People not only take loans due to deficit, due to scarcity, they take loans because they invest money. For example, today trend has become that they purchase loan vehicles. If people are having their own money, but then also they don't invest their own money for purchasing vehicles, for purchasing land. They take they take loan from the banks. So like this, bank acts as a mediator between the lender and a borrower, and this is how the bank works. So this is known as the loan activities of the bank. And children, what is this loan activities of the bank? In loan activities of the bank, it is instructed by whom? Who is the head of all banks? That is Reserve Bank of India. RBI always instructs the bank that what would be the rate of interest charged by the bank. RBI also gives instruction to the bank that they should give loans not only to the rich people, but they should give to the poor section of society also. RBI sees that whether the bank is keeping, it always keeps a check on different commercial banks that they keep at least 15% of cash in the form of reserve. They also check the interest rate. They also fix the interest rates charged by different banks. So in short, we can say that Reserve Bank of India supervises the functioning or activities of the banks of a country. Whether the banks are working in a proper way or not, they are lending money in a proper way or not, they are charging proper interest or not. All these things is supervised by Reserve Bank of India. Children, in exam, a question can come from this section also, that what are the function of RBI? The second question that can come is discuss the loan activities of the bank. Third with the question can also come that how does a bank act as a bridge between the lender and a borrower? These are the three questions which can come from this section. Now children, this we have discussed about loan activities of the bank. Then we have discussed about the functions of RBI. Now the next that we will discuss will be terms of credit. Terms of credit means what are the different ways, what are the different terms on which the people in a country they get loan from the bank. Suppose if you want to take loan from a bank, your father wants to take loan from the bank. What bank will say? Come to us, we are free for you, you take the money. We don't want anything from you. No, bank does not give loans so easily. There are certain terms, certain conditions that people have to fulfill for getting loan from the banks. Now children, what are those conditions? Those conditions are first collateral. Just note down. This is given in your book also in separate paragraph. The first term of credit is collateral. Second, interest rate. Third, documentation. And fourth, mode of payment. Now children, let us understand this one by one. Now children, what is this collateral? Collateral means if you want to take loan from bank will not give you without any proof, without any security. If you want to take loan from the bank, if you are working in any form, you are in either government job or private sector, you have to give your salary receipt signed by your employer. That means you have to give a proof that you are earning this money and your loan will be decided according to your earning. If you are not working in any firm, you are not doing any service or job, you have to give. If you are having any property like land, vehicle, cattle, you have to sell it, and a house or any type of property or gold, you have to give it to the bank in a form of security. When you will submit all these things, you will give to the bank, then only bank will give you money. Those things would be kept in bank in the form of security. That means if in any case a person is unable to pay the loan, bank can just use those security for them so that the money can be recovered from that person in the form of the property or salary. So the first term of credit is collateral. That means the security or proof what the bank requires. Now second, when bank gives loan, it decides on what rate of interest the bank has to give loan to a particular person or a firm. So rate of interest is the second terms of credit, is the second criteria of credit. Bank can charge more interest also, it can charge less interest also. It depends upon the type of loan or a type of bank. Third, first is collateral, second is rate of interest, third is mode documentation. Documentation means suppose you boast that I am having 10 hectares, 15 hectares land, I am having gold, I'm having such a big house, my salary is 20 lakhs per month. You will go in bank and say that. Bank will believe just by your verbal, just if you say verbally, no. You have to give a proof. You have to give documents. If you are working, you are doing any job, you have to give your salary receipt. If you are having any property, you have to give the property's proof. If you are having any land, you have to give the papers of land. If you are having gold, you have to give the receipt or you have to just submit that gold in the bank. So proper documentation, you have to give the documents of whatever property you are having. So that is also the term of credit. And after that, last is mode of payment. Bank will decide that suppose you have taken loan of rupees 5 lakhs or 10 lakhs or 2 lakhs. What will be the type of installment that you have to pay? 6 monthly, anything. Or yearly, you have to pay monthly 2000 rupees, 3000 rupees. All these things, what will be the mode of payment? Direct from the salary or you have to just deposit in the bank or directly it will go from this. Everything will be decided in the bank. And when agreement will be done on this mode of payment, then only you will get loan from the bank. So children, we have discussed about what? Terms of credit. If you want to take loan from bank, what you have to do? You have to follow all this term. You have to follow all these conditions. Then only you will get loan from the bank. So children, a separate questions come in your exam that what are the terms of credit of a bank? If this question comes, and mostly this comes for 3 marks. If it comes just mention, you have to just mention it, don't explain. But children, mostly mention will come for 1 marks. If it will come explain, this question comes for 3 marks. Okay, so you have to explain each and every terms of credit. That is, I've already explained you, collateral, documentation, rate of interest, and mode of payment. So separate questions come from this part. So children, we have discussed about loan activities of the bank. Next, function of Reserve Bank of India, what RBI does. We have discussed about what percentage of money a bank keeps in the form of reserve to pay the borrowers. We have also discussed about the terms of credit. In that we discussed about interest rate, collateral, mode of payment and documentation. Till here we have discussed. Now next we will discuss about the two different credit situations. Now children, what is credit? In my previous video I had explained you. Credit is a situation in which the transaction takes place, but in that transaction direct cash is not used. What is done? Promise to pay in future. If any transaction takes place without the use of money, but the transaction takes place, exchange of goods takes place, but it takes place due to what? Due to promise to pay in future. I'll give you an example also, that suppose your mother sends you to any grocery shop and says that give 5 kg of sugar or 10 kg of wheat or any other thing, and says that tell the shopkeeper that we'll pay after few days. Here the shopkeeper gives you that thing. The transaction has taken place, but it has not taken place with cash. It has taken place with credit. Credit means promise to pay in future. Credit can also be said as a loan. Okay. So it is said, it is given in a book also, that credit has become a must for the development of a nation. So in your book also, the two different credit situations are given. Children, taking credit, taking loan is sometimes beneficial also, and sometimes a person is loser also. It totally depends upon the risk a person takes. Sometimes if a person takes risk, the situation is profitable for him or her. And sometimes a person falls in a debt trap. Here the two credit situations are given. One is story of Sapna and second is story of Salim. It is given in your book. You can go through also. I tell you in short. Now, in story of Salim, what happens? Salim is a shoemaker. He is not having such a big showroom that you're having in a cities like Bata and various leathers and khadims and all this. It is not so. He is just a small shoemaker. He is having a small shop. Now, what happens in a festive season? He gets order of 1,000 or 2,000 pair of shoes. I'm not telling the exact amount you see in your book. Now, what happened? He's not having the raw materials for preparing such a large amount of shoes or footwear. If he thinks that no, I will leave it, I'm not having money, how I can just be ready for such a large amount of order in festive season? But he takes risk. He says that no, I will do it because I'm getting such a large order, and if it is successful I will earn large profit. What he does, if he is getting the order of more shoes, more footwear, he goes in the market and he says that he will pay. He goes and purchases leather and various other raw materials required for making the footwear, and he tells in the market that he has got an order of shoes in festive season and he will pay the money of leather and other raw materials after getting the money of that order. In the market he gets leather and various other raw materials for making shoes on credit, and what happens? He takes the risk. He takes everything from the market on credit, and in the festive season he makes shoes. He just appoints, he just hires certain employees under him, and he does a work on the war basis. The footwears are ready, everything is sold. After getting sold, he gets back the money and he just returns to everyone in the market. Now what happens? He earns profit in thousands. Here taking loan, taking everything in credit is beneficial for whom? For Salim. And the credit situation is positive because everything is okay. Now the second example is example of Sapna. In case of Sapna, result was not positive. Sapna is a small farmer. She also wants to flourish, she also wants to develop, she also wants more and more agriculture production. For this purpose, she sows groundnut, and for producing more, she wants to use a high yielding variety of seeds. For this purpose, she takes money from the big farmer, and she takes money, you know very well that we'll discuss in the next section, formal and informal sources of credit. She takes loan at a very high rate of interest. But what happens? In that year, groundnut crops production takes place, but most of the crops were eaten by pests. Due to this, as she promised to the moneylender to pay back the money of fertilizer and seeds after groundnut production. Now what happened if the crop is eaten away by the pest? What will nothing was left with her? She was not able to sell the groundnut in the market, and she earned the loss. She was not in profit, and she was not able to pay the money that he took from the money lender. And for paying money, what she had to do? She had to sell a part of her land. And due to this, she did not earn profit, but she was in debt trap. Debt trap means she was not able to recover from the debt trap. She had to sell her land. And here the credit situation was negative for her. So this is example of Sapna and Salim. You can give many other examples also, that suppose if you have taken loan from a bank to start a factory, and you have not done insurance because you have started the factory just one day. You were just planning to do insurance, and the next day, due to some reason, this in factory the fire takes place. Now what will happen? Due to fire, everything is lost, everything is burnt, and instead of earning profit, you earn losses. Here, you are not able to give back your loan also. You have taken the risk, but results are negative. So taking credit is always not positive. So we have discussed the two credit situations, Swapna and Salim. I've given you certain questions also. In the video, you write answers to those questions and make at least 10 multiple choice questions. So for today it is enough. We'll continue in the next section about formal and informal sources of credit. Thank you, children.